One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads, feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They're telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I told them take their aim off me. Stop trying to get a name off me. If they would just let me be, I'm gonna be free. I told them take some chains off me and throw away the locks and keys. If they would just let me be, eventually I'm gonna be free.
They're back.
Had to reset the camera. Right before the show started, the whole thing collapsed on itself. Like it was saying, nope, we're not running anymore. So
what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? This is
what's up?
They say 7 days and came by quick. We back again for another episode of The Dominant Effect. Aaron Olinger. And before we get into this story, well, stories, because we got a couple of them today. How was your weekend, Mike?
It was good, man. We just had a crazy ass bonfire last night. Like something that if we would have done that shit in the city, we would have been locked up like 5 minutes later. It's awesome, man. Just been hanging out with some family and having a good time. And man, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the news lately. And just like we're going to speak about tonight, it's been very active on the shows and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What's up with you, Aaron?
Oh, everything's going good right now. I went out today, took one of my nieces out for dinner. We went over to Jay Alexander's and had a good meal, and I enjoyed her company and her son's company, and just had a good time bonding with family, man.
Okay. That's what's up. Well, you know, on this end, it's been the same old thing, you know, work and Actually, I didn't have to film this week, but this weekend though I'm gonna be busy. I got Friday and Saturday, but I was off this past weekend, so I didn't have to do nothing. So I got to relax a little bit, and that's exactly what
Nice.
I did. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
No, nothing.
I barely like tried to survive to like eat and stuff. Yeah, I was doing nothing.
Right, which was a good thing. You know what I mean? Because I've been running crazy here for a little bit, so it was a good thing to not have to do absolutely nothing. I sat on the phone, talked to people, and watched some movies. And hell, I even sat there and watched a whole series. I mean, I didn't do nothing.
Nice.
And of course, Sunday, my Cowboys got their ass stomped, but that was a disappointment. But other than that, everything else was good. So thank God for that. So as you said, Mike, this week has been pretty active. It's
extremely.
It's been a lot of stuff going on here in the past week, and that's why I didn't stick on one particular subject for this show, because there were so many things that was going on that we can jump in and talk about. So we're gonna hit this one. We're gonna hit this one running, because I'm pretty sure between us and the ones that's watching, they're gonna have pretty much a lot to say in this chat line. So you ones that's watching, like I said, hit that like button as we going through.
That's right.
That puts us in the right algorithm, so that way you can get other people to click in and watch as well. So whichever platform you on, whether you on mine or you on Mike's, whatever, click over, hit the like button. I mean, if you happen to be on both of our platforms, go on both of them and hit the like button.
Hell yeah.
So it's gonna help. Okay. So we're gonna hit the first thing. And the first thing that's been coming out is this pager situation that happened in Lebanon. Now, when I first heard this, I was like, man, now this is like some real ingenious shit right here. Like, how the hell were they able to do that? So to catch people up that might not knew anything about this. So basically what happens is that, Hezbollah they've been having problems with Israel. I mean, everybody knows that they've been at war for well over a year now. But they've been having problems with them coming in and knowing different locations and stuff that they were doing, because they were able to tap into their phones. So not only were they trading out their phones, but they were trading out pagers as well. So your high-ranking officials, communication people, stuff like that, they all had pagers. And when they're needed, then of course they were paged. Now, this not the regular fighters. These are strictly all the ones that were who they considered as being important, to the point that they needed to get a hold of them right then. Let me shoot you this page, instead of calling you and somebody picking up the call. You can go a pay phone somewhere else and call me, to get this information. Well, so what happened was that somehow or another, because there's a couple different conspiracy theories out now.
Mm-hmm. I was saying, yeah, there is.
Yeah. They figured out what they were doing. And in a chain reaction type situation, everybody who had a pager that was dealing with Hezbollah exploded. Every single one of them. End result was that you had, last that I counted, was 9 people that was unalive and over 2,700 that was injured.
Damn.
I mean, it's all kind of different videos showing, people just in a grocery store and the pager blew up. People
unreal.
Pagers blew up. So there's before we start talking about it, because I know Aaron, you jumped in this with both feet.
Right.
All the information dealing.
I would if I had 2 feet. I would. But
Oh shit!
one leg in, half is out. I guess I don't have a leg to stand on. I guess
I ain't gonna say. Never mind. You just see that's one of them. See, that's one of them situations where you can say something, and you ever seen like on TikTok or something, like you getting ready to say something, and you got Jesus behind you looking at you like, okay, go
like,
like
hey,
you
go ahead,
gonna say it,
motherfucker.
you gonna say it, you gonna say
Yeah.
it. So no, I ain't gonna say it. But we
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna show two. It's probably about a minute and a half, total. But one is going to talk about the pagers, and then one is going to show about the walkie-talkies. And then when we click back over, then Aaron, I'm gonna let you go ahead and run with the information that you got. Okay.
Okay.
Lebanon's health ministry saying hundreds of people have been injured in what appears to be a well-coordinated and highly sophisticated attack. Lebanese officials saying pager devices, they are, remember, devices that can only receive messages, have exploded. We're seeing videos in multiple locations, in places like supermarkets in Lebanon, of people looking down at what appears to be a pager, and then an explosion breaking out. We're seeing Lebanese hospitals on high alert, Lebanon's health ministry launching a real fleet of ambulances to try and deal with the aftermath of this attack. And it comes at a really tense moment. We're seeing increasing tensions between Israel and Hezbollah, that militant group based in Lebanon, backed by Iran. One of the victims of this attack, according to Iranian state media, is Iran's ambassador to Lebanon. That's highly significant. And in recent days, we're seeing more reports from Israeli officials talking up the possibility of a wider conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. But at this stage, Israeli officials have not said anything about this series of explosions inside Lebanon, where apparently pager devices have detonated in a very coordinated and sophisticated way.
Yeah, Heather, it was low on that, but I think it was the clip itself because I couldn't bring it up on my side either.
What was it?
It was just a little low on the volume on that video.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me hit this other one about the walkie-talkies right quick. This one's real quick.
Yes, sir. Damn it.
So with the walkie-talkies, from what I've gathered so far, it's only been one casualty on that, but it's been hundreds of injuries. So before I let Aaron run loose on this one, I'm gonna throw a question in there as well. Now, the first thing that we heard was that they figured out a way to send a signal to these lithium ion batteries to have them to explode. Then we heard that there was a possibility that they were able to get their hands on the shipment and put explosives in each one of them, which I think that's a little far-fetched. You know what I mean? Like, how would you be able to get the shipment, load all this stuff up, put all these explosives in these different pagers and stuff just to do that later on? So it seems when you start thinking about it, that's where the whole conspiracy theory comes in yet, because nobody really knows exactly what happened.
Right.
Now on one end, you think like, okay, if they just put explosives in it, like, yeah, that's a dirty thing to do. You know what I mean? Put explosives in it, pass them out to everybody, and then just set them all off at one time. Or if you figured out that there was a way that you could send some kind of signal or pulse to basically like a remote detonator, and it will overload those batteries to the point that they exploded. See, that's a whole new different type of warfare that we're talking about here. So that means that anything that you possess that has an ion lithium battery on it, that there's a way now that you can blow them up. So you sit there,
every cell phone,
right? Every cell phone, everything that you can. There's a way that you can blow this up. Now, we don't know which one it is because they haven't came out yet to say which one it is. But being the fact that along with these pagers, it just didn't happen in Lebanon, that in London, they're reporting pagers that went off in London. So there's no way, like, how did these people in London end up with their pagers blowing up when the shipment went to Lebanon? You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot more to this. So Aaron, I'm gonna go and let you take off with it.
Okay. Now, first, I want to say that their command, I don't know if he was the head guy of the whole thing or he's in the top tier, but because the Israelis were intercepting their cell phones, he ordered them to order in these pagers and these Baofeng ham radios to use, because the Baofangs come with a scrambler where if someone intercepted your signal, they would have to have the key code to be able to unscramble the message. So they went out. Now, those pagers have been in service for 5.5 months that they've had them. But with all the rockets that they've been, Hezbollah has been shooting at Israel, I guess Israel decided to spank that bottom a little bit. So they created what is called a thermal runaway effect. And that's where you send out a electromagnetic signal that causes the batteries to superheat. Now, when you've held your cell phone, you will have felt your cell phone get hot. You lay it down, it cools off. When that battery starts to get so hot, it gives off a hydrogen gas. Hydrogen is highly explosive. Those people that are out there that are mechanics that's ever changed a battery in their car recently would know that not only do you change the battery, but you have to put the vent hose on that battery if it's lithium, because it's going to give off hydrogen gas and you want to vent that off. Otherwise, you got a little mini bomb underneath the hood of your car that's building up gas. So I can honestly say I could see how that could explode. Now, the timing on it was precise, because if you send out that signal, you would have to know to the exact second how long it would take for that battery to explode to be able to ring that pager and get somebody to reach for it to pick it up. Now, I'm going to talk two different angles here. I'm going to talk the use of explosive. The explosive, if they used it, was called PETN. It's a plastique. It's used in military detonators. They could put a strip of it on the back of a lithium battery, no thicker than the width of a paper clip. And it's extremely explosive. And then it would explode with also utilizing that hydrogen gas. But if they didn't use the PETN, then that means they sent out a signal to overload the battery. Then they sent out a signal to ring the pager. If people had it up close to their face,
Wow.
they're permanently blind or dead. As of this evening, I've got, depending upon what source you go with, I've got 3,000 to 4,000 seriously hurt. 500 are permanently blind, including the Iranian ambassador to Lebanon. 40 are said to be dead. And this may not be funny, but I had to laugh a little bit. Hundreds done had, if they had the thing on their belt or had it in their pocket, hundreds have had their family jewels blowed off along with something else. And others that had it, if they were right-handed, had the thing in their hand and had their hands blowed off or lost fingers, which the Israelis clearly stated, if you're right-handed and you don't have a right hand, you can't pull a trigger. As of this evening, more than 10% of the Hezbollah fighters have been made unoperable. They can't pull triggers. They can't do nothing. They're sitting in hospitals. And that's a seriously demoralizing thing right there in itself. Now, round two started today. Round two, it was the Baofeng ham radios that started detonating. And right now in Syria and Lebanon and different areas over there, they're all afraid to get on their telephones. They're afraid to get on their ham radios, their pagers. They're afraid to touch anything electronic. And that's demoralizing, because if Israel decides to go in over the next few days and attack, those people will not be able to coordinate a defense because they're afraid that the stuff will start going off on them. Now, as of today, you had a lot of funerals going on, and you've seen those Arab funerals. I mean, they're shoulder to shoulder in the street, carrying the casket above their shoulders. Well, those Baofeng radios started exploding today in the middle of the funerals. And they got 14 dead from it today. Another 450 more people are injured, depending upon where the thing was on their body, is how severe it is. But I mean, it blew off entire limbs on some of these people. Now, the thing that I think is brilliant about Israel, they didn't risk none of their people. They reduced their losses by attacking in said manner, and they also control civilian casualties of innocent people that if they went in with their full military, hundreds of civilians would have been killed. They showed how technically proficient they are at their craft. And by this evening, I got to looking because they were saying that some of the explosions today were much higher, much larger than yesterday. And I'm like, well, I can see it. The Baofeng's a little bit bigger, but some of the explosions were pretty big. So I went in to look for what was exploding today. And what I found was the solar battery backup on the solar panels were exploding. Any of the backup communications with lithium batteries were exploding. I mean, Hezbollah started taking the backs off those ham radios and started pulling the damn batteries out of them. Electronic vehicles. If it's an electric vehicle, that's a pretty big battery, and it was blowing up like a bomb. Scooters, motorcycles, iPhones, and computers were exploding today. So this wasn't no mess around. So then I went to another source, which happens to be Homeland Security Today, and lawmakers, they talked about, is calling for the United States to get out in front of this to prevent this from happening here. They seem to feel that we are and they were warning of the potential of a devastating cyber attack similar to this on the United States. So they feel that we need to get some things in place to protect against it. Now, when I saw that, that made me question, because there's no way that they could have put that PET in the cars, the motorcycles, the computers. That would be impossible. So where was a lot of this stuff manufactured at? China. Who was Homeland Security warning about a potential cyber attack coming from? China. So it makes me wonder that when China created some of these chips, and it's not what I'm going to use the wrong term here. I'm going to say, did China put kill switches in it? And it may not be what you call kill switch, but whatever they put into it, and this is going to sound conspiratorial, did the Israelis figure it out and exploit that Achilles heel to their benefit? Because if we're being warned by Homeland Security, a similar attack can occur from China. And the commonality here is a lot of these products were made in China, except for the pages. They were made in Taiwan. The truth is the truth. I mean, maybe the explosive isn't what was used. Maybe it's the gas and the lithium battery, but you shoot a certain type of magnetic thing toward it, they explode like bombs when they get hot.
Well, the one thing I got a question on is for instance, I've had a few of my fairly large, they're 18650 milliamp, whatever batteries. They're usually meant for like big vape mods and all that shit. I back in the day, I used to have a couple blow up on me, like quite literally my pocket would catch on fire and everything. It was crazy. But when it did happen, it never actually did a full on like explosion like that. It always was like, it got super, super hot. Like it was misfiring in my pocket or something like that. And then it would get so damn hot after it, like the battery being pressed and held forever. And then boom, eventually the battery goes off in your pocket. But I never had it quite do anything like what we were seeing in like at least the videos where they're like exploding. Cause like that shit is, I mean, it sounded like from what we were seeing, that shit kind of looked like it was like a real ordeal set. Like that was intentional for damn sure, whatever. I mean, obviously it was, but it's like man, there's got to be something a little bit more to just a battery. There has to be, don't you think?
Well, I mean, the gas coming off, hydrogen gas is explosive. I mean, a spark will set that off. And if that battery's getting super hot, when it's hot like that, it's kicking off gas. So you're getting explosive force from the battery as well as that hydrogen gas. And the bigger the battery, the bigger the boom. So to me, whoever created this situation knew what they were doing. They were thinking long term what they could do down the road if they ever got into it with us. And like I said, the lawmakers are saying we need to get out in front of this because they're expecting something similar from China. And I used to sleep with my cell phone laying on my chest. Yeah, that's not going to happen no more. That thing's going to be kind of put a little ways away from me right now. But I just think it was interesting that, like I said, Homeland Security Today ran that article on that, and that the lawmakers are scrambling right now to try to figure out how we're going to defend ourselves from this.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Now, if you were able to put off a signal, a magnetic pulse, or whatever you want to call it, to be able to make these batteries explode the way they did, you know, you think about it like if it's sitting out a pulse like that, then that battery is like, unlike what Mike was talking about, how it picked up and, got hot and whatnot, with this particular pulse would make it get hotter faster.
Mm-hmm.
And, being the fact that it got hotter as quick as it did to the point of explosion would make that bang a little bit bigger than normal.
Right.
So how would they be able to put this signal out there though? Was that like something that you bouncing off of a satellite?
It'd have to be.
Or,
because
like, what is it that they're using in order to do that?
Yeah, there was no drones reported in the air flying that could give off that kind of signal. So that definitely had to be bounced off a satellite. And like I said, they call it the thermal runaway effect. So they know that they're superheating that battery, and probably superheating at such a fast rate that it probably makes the explosive force that much greater. But I don't know. I think it was brilliant because the Israelis said if this war breaks out, we're going to see weapons that were never used in war before. And they clearly showed it with this.
Well, yeah,
And
there's no doubt you're right about that. Like, what we can say, it's everything else, but for damn sure, this right here was obviously an ingenious war tactic, for sure.
I mean, but wouldn't you think though that, okay, so let's just say hypothetically, because we don't know. All this is alleged.
Sure.
Okay? We don't know the facts as to what actually happened. Now, but wouldn't you think though that if you did actually send a pulse like that to the point that it was blowing up, I mean, why would it not blow up everybody's stuff? You know what I mean?
Everyone's normal iPhones.
Right. So anybody that had anything that had a lithium battery at all, why didn't they all just blow up?
Cars started blowing up.
Right. So it's like you got all of them, and then you got like some computers here and a scooter over here and a car over here or whatever. But you would think that if you signaled a pulse there, doing it in that particular like that area right there where you knew that they were all at, or something, you know what I mean? Because a lot of these people, like you seen on the video, one guy was in the supermarket,
right,
and it blew up. So let's say out of all the people that we've seen that were standing right there, I'm pretty sure all of them had a cell phone or something. Why didn't they all just blow up?
Because
to me, that's what leads me more towards them putting something actually in the pager, and then put off a signal to detonate whatever they put on. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just a broad spectrum.
What was the shipment from? Was it from Taiwan or was it from China? Which one was it? Which country?
One shipment was from Taiwan. The Baofangs were made at another location, and here in the United States, Baofang is one of the most popular ham radio systems with the preppers. But going back to answer Arch's question, they rung those things first, which means Hamas, I mean, not Hamas, but the Mossad would have to have a database and knew those phone numbers to those specific people. And then when they send that signal out, they was also sending it to specific numbers, specific internet sites. And that's how they was able to achieve that and avoid the civilian casualties that would have occurred if they just blew everybody up.
So that's more of a computer generated signal as
Right.
opposed to popping a signal off of a satellite, then like a broad spectrum. That's
Yeah.
more of
Yeah.
a computer type deal. Okay, we're going to put all these numbers in and we're going to put this signal, put this code in or whatever, and this code is going to do X, Y, Z, and boom.
Of it. I mean, that's what a cyber attack is, you know. So again, they are technically proficient at their craft. There's no doubt in my mind of that.
Now, you know that if that was actually the case, so let's just say hypothetically that that was actually the case, you know, everybody, you know, every government official from every country is now trying to figure out, like, okay, how did you do that? Because
Oh yeah.
because once that gets out, and especially if it gets out to the wrong people, you know what I mean, that could, you could pretty much wipe out everybody. You know what I mean? You walk down the street, all of a sudden, boom, cell phone blow up. You know what I mean? Or anything that you got in your house that has an ion lithium battery on it, which that's pretty much
Everything.
everything. You know what I mean? Pretty much everything that we have here has some type of ion lithium battery that can blow up. You know what I mean? Now, what about take, like, for instance, people that's in airplanes? You know what I mean? If it was something like that, you could down planes, everything else, because you got people in there. Of course, they
Right.
got their phones. You know what I mean? Those batteries is there. So it's all about having your number. Okay, I got his number. I'm gonna send this random, you know, code or whatever it is to this number. And once he answers it, it's gonna blow. You know what I mean? That's some whole different kind of warfare that you're talking about right there. You know what I
When
mean?
you're talking cyber attack or bio warfare, you have complete deniability. You can always say, "It wasn't me," and you know damn well it was you. You know, who you going to go after? Who you going to send your military to go attack? Unless somebody admits they did it, and right now the Israelis not even admitting to it.
Yeah, I did see one on there where they were talking about that they're really not saying that they done it. Matter of fact, I got a quick little video here where somebody was actually talking about that.
Let me say one last thing. They gave the United States 20 minutes notice that they was about to do that to try to prevent the United States from stopping them from jumping the gun. So they gave you a 20-minute notice, and we were probably wondering, but just how the hell are you going to do that? By the time they start to figure it out, it was happening.
Why would they even give you notice? For real.
Right.
I mean, why you give me 20 minutes? Just do it.
Right. At that point.
You know, last that I heard, it was better to ask for forgiveness than permission. So why would I call and tell you, okay, in 20 minutes, I'm about to blow some shit up here in 20 minutes, just watch, as opposed to you doing it and they calling you and you be like, you know what, my bad. They didn't call you, my bad, but it's done.
Well, see, Israel gets a certain amount of economic aid from the United States, and they need that money to keep their economy going. If they act out of pocket, we can pull that economic aid package and their economy would collapse. So that's the reason why anytime Israel gets attacked, it almost seems like we got a chain around their neck, like they're an attack dog and we're holding them back, because if they act out of pocket, we're going to pull the money.
They ain't going to do that. They ain't going to do that. They'll take everything from everybody before they take something from Israel. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's no joke, right?
Ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. I mean, think about all the other stuff that's been, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna speak too much into it because I know you two don't like us talking about, don't like us saying
that star
negative.
state. That star state. We'll just call it that. Sure.
Right. So we're gonna just leave it like that. But just know, U.S. ain't about to take nothing from them. they're gonna give them everything. If they don't give nobody else nothing, they're gonna get theirs. That's a guarantee. You know what? I was gonna play that other video, but you know what? I'm not because we already done been on this one. We've been on this one long anyway. So the next thing that we're going to talk about here, and this has been crazy, and I know everybody know, like we had the whole golf course incident dealing with former President Trump, and then today, while he was about to do a rally in Rhode Island, they found a car with explosives in it. Now, this is the third time that they done went after this man. You know what I mean? Some way, shape, form, or fashion that they done went after.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Targeted.
So, right. So you know the dark state working good. They working tirelessly trying to get rid of this man for
No kidding.
some reason. For some reason, they trying to get rid of him.
He's a threat to him. That's why.
Well, I don't know what it is. I ain't even trying to figure out what it is. But I know that it's like it's getting crazy now. You know what I mean? Because it's like you had the one that happened in Pennsylvania. Okay. That was bad enough. Now you have one where he's at the golf course. Then you have one today. Now, here's my thing about the golf course. Now, they said that they found this guy. He was in the weeds, fired a couple times, didn't hit nothing. Which I'm still not wrapped around there. Like, where are you finding these people that can't shoot? I mean, because it seems like people can't shoot. I don't know where you're finding these people at. Especially being as close as they are. They seem to be getting super close. Like they danger close, 400, 500 yards away. That's danger close.
It is.
And can't shoot. I just want to know where you find these people at. But here's my thing. Me personally, somebody running their mouth. Somebody running their mouth. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I'm saying that. It's because when he decided he was going to play golf, that was not in the schedule.
Correct.
Right. That was a spur of the moment thing. Like, hey, I'm going to go play golf. Let's go. And they went. So the report that initially came out said that this man was sitting, that they seen this man in there, that he had been in there for so many hours in the weeds. Why would he be there? Why would he be in the weeds if this was just a random impromptu trip? You know what? I'm just going to go play golf today.
Right.
What in the schedule? So nobody knew until he decided that he was going to do this. How did this take place?
Oh, there's definitely an inside. There's something for sure. There's no doubt. This is it kind of like what we've got from, let's just call for like some crazy stuff that's been going on in our country within the last, it kind of started with the whole Las Vegas shooting. When that big mass shooting happened, there was so many unanswered questions there. And then same thing now that we see with President Trump in Pennsylvania, not enough information there. And then over in Florida now, there was not enough information there either. And it's mind-blowing, and it's crazy how there's even direct links to both of these shooters. We'll get into that in a minute. But, it's just very odd. It seems like there has to be something there. And now I actually watched a full-on interview on the Trump shooter, the second one, the golf course. There was an actual a whole-ass interview I watched maybe an hour before going live with you guys. And he was speaking in Ukraine to a Ukrainian that sat him down and was like doing this interview with him in his office or whatever. And he's totally coherent. He's not crazy in the sense, but like you can tell that he's at least got some sort of logic a little bit in him, but you can tell he's radicalized. But I the way I see it was he was like almost that fan craze, you know, when you're crazy when you become a fanatic, you know, it seemed like that seemed to be, I mean, he was so insane about Ukraine. And so I think when Trump started talking about you know, if we get involved, you know, as soon as I get in office, we'll take it and we'll handle it. We'll make sure it's over on day one, kind of ordeal. I think the guy was such a radicalist in the sense of like just a fanatic that he took that as an existential threat to Ukraine. I think he was like, I think it was that craze to that amount where he was willing to do anything. Now, yeah, there was previous connections as well. So there's a whole bunch of weird linkages with this whole ordeal, right? Like there's not enough information on almost every single one of these cases.
Right. And that's what, you know, they haven't actually turned in the reports from the first one. So
right.
They haven't even got the first one straight.
Correct.
Now you got this one here, but you know, that one, the one is at the golf course. That's the one that really made me think, because you sitting there listening, and they was like, well, you know, he had just decided he was gonna go play golf. And I'm like, okay, so why was this guy there in the weeds for so many hours if he just now decided that he was gonna play golf? So what? So that meant like as soon as he said something, somebody picked up the phone and said, hey, you want to play golf? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what it seems like. You know what I mean? Because how would anybody know if he just came up with it? How would anybody know that he was going to be there in order to be able to set up like that? You know what I mean? And then be able to get off some shots. You know what I mean? Because at first they wasn't even talking about that he was shot at. They said that it was shot fired in the vicinity. Now, to me, the vicinity is if I'm standing here and I hear gunshots, you know what I mean, anywhere within my ears reach, that's the vicinity. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking like, okay, he playing golf, somebody popping off somewhere. Okay. I mean, people hear gunshots all the time. You know what I mean? Don't mean nothing. Then it went from that to, oh no, it was an actual guy and he was hiding in the weeds and he'd been in the weeds for so many hours and this. And then you hear the story that he just came up with this. I'm like, okay, hold on. 2 and 2 ain't add. I mean, that ain't adding up. That don't make sense. How did that even take place? How does dude even know about this? I got a quick one. I got a quick little video about that one, dealing with the golf course. And then I'm gonna play that one. And when this one ends, I'm gonna play the one dealing with the Rhode Island. And then Mike, I want to hear what you got to say after that. Okay.
This morning, for the second time in just 2 months, the FBI is investigating an apparent attempted assassination on Donald Trump's life. ABC News learning the former president was on his West Palm Beach golf course with donor Steve Witkoff near the 5th hole when a Secret Service agent suddenly saw a barrel of a rifle sticking out of the fence just 300 to 400 yards away.
What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off.
Sources say Secret Service fired 4 to 6 rounds as Trump was rushed to a safe area. The suspected gunman went running, leaving behind an AK-47 style rifle, 2 backpacks which contained ceramic tile, and a GoPro hanging on the fence. An eyewitness catching the suspect fleeing.
Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great.
With that information, police were able to track down the car. This is the moment authorities surrounded the suspect in the vehicle.
We knew we had the car, everything lined up. We surrounded the car, didn't give him a chance to flee. He had no alternative but to surrender.
Multiple law enforcement sources tell ABC News the man detained by police is 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Roth. Overnight, law enforcement descending on his home in Greensboro, North Carolina, going through the residence floor by floor, searching by a flashlight. Sources also say he had ties to Hawaii. His neighbor there speaking with ABC News.
I kind of like a shock that all of this is happening.
While authorities are working to determine a motive, sources familiar with the investigation say they are looking into whether Roth had any frustrations with Trump's position on Ukraine. He frequently posted on social media about the war, seen here in a 2022 video in Poland around the time he went to Ukraine.
And then we're going to stay as long as it takes to get every Russian out of Ukraine.
Trump traveled back to his Mar-a-Lago estate in a social media post thanking law enforcement for keeping him safe, saying the job done was absolutely outstanding. His son Eric Trump telling Fox News, "My father is running out of lives." It was just 65 days ago that Trump survived an attempted assassination at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The former president was grazed by a bullet in the ear, ducking for cover behind the podium. And this morning, there are questions once again about how a gunman could get this close to a former president and Republican nominee.
He's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. But because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible.
Police reportedly discovered an explosive device in a vehicle near former President Donald Trump's rally site on Long Island, just hours before his speech on Wednesday. This potential security breach follows an attempted assassination at his Palm Beach golf club just days prior. According to sources from Nassau County Police, a blue barrel was removed from the rally's perimeter and K-9 units detected an explosive in a vehicle. The driver fled into nearby woods, leading to heightened security. Despite this, thousands of Trump supporters were gathering for the rally, set to begin at 7 p.m. ET at the Nassau Coliseum. The former president has shifted to indoor events following recent assassination attempts, including being shot at during a rally in Pennsylvania and another incident involving a gunman at his golf course in West Palm Beach. Trump blames the violent rhetoric from President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris for inspiring these attacks.
Crazy.
Okay, so what you got?
It's radical all the way around, right? I mean, there's not much I can really add to it other than what I said is I just think that the dude was, a radical on that aspect. When it comes to the ordeal today, man, here's what I have to say is where it came from. I'm going to guess why you're asking me this is probably about what the last thing was said there is. I think when you're called like something to the level of like a Hitler, like, okay, here's the thing, man, you get referred to back. Like, did Donald Trump kill 12 million people? Like last I heard, I didn't think that he murdered anybody, but when you get referred to as Hitler and all these different, eventually people start. Radicals listen, man. Everyone is influenced by some degree, whether you get influenced by a penny or this guy gets influenced with $100. There is people do get influenced with what people have to say. And so the things that they're referring to in this rhetoric BS, it's true. It's true. I think that both sides need to chill the fuck out. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's just going to continue and get worse and worse to the point where someone's going to connect. And I hate to say that, but if now this is the third time in 2 months, it's kind of telling you something, man.
Right. Now, a couple things. One, they said that this guy came from Greensboro, North Carolina. Now, you see where this don't add up. Supposed to been I woke up and like, you know what? I'm just going to go play golf today. Come on, y'all. Let's go play golf today.
Mm-hmm. We'll fit it into the schedule somehow.
Right. This dude here come from North Carolina to Florida to take a pop shot at the former president that nobody knew that he was going there until he decided to go. Make that make sense. That's impossible.
There's definitely some sort of inside job here. I mean, obviously, it's evident, right? I mean, that goes without saying.
I mean, there's some line going on. That's what's going on.
Absolutely. And this is one thing I really got to give credit to Ron DeSantis. He called where he was like talking in front of everybody and, down there in Florida, and he was talking in Palm Beach or whatever. And when he did that, he was straight up. He was like, look, listen, I don't benefit at all here. Like, all I want to do is give out the facts to everybody. I think the American people deserve at least that. Like, this is crazy kind of ordeal. And I can at least respect him on that. And then he stayed on the stage for longer than when he was, talking to the crowd. He stayed there longer than, just to answer everyone's questions. So, I mean, he was sitting there interacting with everybody for like 45 minutes. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know, man, there's definitely some crazy shit going on. I'm guessing the FBI knows way more about this shit than they're letting out to the public, of course. And now that this guy, it's amazing that this guy is still alive. I cannot believe that this guy's alive in the first place. The guy from the golf course ordeal, I can't believe the guy's still alive. Like, that is insane. Like, that's you go to assassinate a president, like, there's no way you're surviving that. Like, I would never guess. And that dude somehow survived it. And so, but we've got a lot more answers. It's better to keep him alive, actually, because maybe we'll actually figure out something, and hopefully some information will get out to the American people, because I believe that the American people at least deserve that, is just give out the fact. Fuck all the bias bullshit on every sort of the equation, and just give out the fact.
Well, the one statement that Eric Trump made when he said, my father's running out of lives, that's true. You know what I mean? Because they keep taking pop shots at this dude, and with him not having the security that he's supposed to have. Like, after the first one, even if the government didn't give me the security that I had, being the fact that I am Trump, you know what I mean? I would have hired me a whole different squad of people. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like y'all be here, but I got this whole other set over here that I pay for. That's gonna make sure that I'm good. You know what I mean? I don't see why that's not going on. Now, his detail, which I found out the other day, consists of, you have some that's actual Secret Service, but you have more of them are actually Homeland Security. And it was said that the only training that they had was that they watched a 2.5-hour video as to what they needed to do to protect. That's it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So basically, he got a ragtag group of top flight security watching it. I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Mind you, I would say this, whether they was talking about him, Biden, RFK, whatever. I don't care. You know what I mean? Being the fact that he is a former president, being the fact that he is trying to run for re-election, there should be some more security on him. But I also think that even though that he knows that they're not going to give it to him, be proactive on your own, because you got the money to do it, and get the people that you need. You know what I mean? To make sure your ass is covered. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I would hate to see another newscast where something that really actually happened to the dude.
For real.
You know what I mean? Because then that's, at that point, then that's blood on all the. I could have fixed this. You know what I mean? But on the other end, he could have fixed it too, because he could put his own people there if he wanted to. You know what I mean? That is his right to do. You know what I mean? Hell, I would have a whole damn militia following me around. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody coming nowhere near me. Oh shit, I have damn drones and everything else everywhere I'm at. You know what I mean?
Kidding.
Ain't nobody about to walk up here. But yeah, that one there, like I said, we're gonna keep our eye on that. And as some stuff start to progress and we start getting some more information on it and stuff like that, then we'll put it out, because that whole golf course thing makes zero sense. Correct. Somebody lying there. Somebody lying. that was crazy.
Somebody's over here capping.
Stop the cap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So The next big one that then came out this week has been the issue with good old Diddy. Now,
Yes.
remember we did a show about that a while ago.
Long ago.
When the first stuff started coming out.
Oh, real quick, before you get into this, I do got to give a quick shout out real quick. Ryan Boyd with the $25 Cash App, man. Thank you. Shout out to you, man. I figured I'd wait for you to close that statement and then before we went into the next, So anyways,
Gotcha.
Sorry, sir.
So now we got a whole other thing went on. Now, back before when we did the show, that was when they went through and they raided his house in California and also in Florida, and found all these different hard drives with where he had been recording all these freak offs and everything else, to where he was basically using them to blackmail people. He was able to get into a lot of things that he wanted to get into, because he was basically using what he recorded to get him to do it. Along with a lot of these young artists that was coming in the fold, he was doing the most. But I guess the government decided that they were going to charge him, and so yesterday he was arrested in New York, and they hit him with prostitution, coercion, narcotics, obstruction of justice, a couple weapons charges, kidnapping, arson, trafficking, and bribery. Now, with the weapons, they were saying, yeah, he had 3 AK-47s and he, had a couple barrels, stuff like that. But that part really didn't mean anything because, of course he got weapons. I think the thing that actually triggered that one was the fact that with the weapons that he had, the serial numbers were filed off of it.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah. So that's what brought that into this, is because he had filed them.
Yeah, if they were legal owned, there would be no problem there, right?
Right. So so he was arrested by Homeland Security he was at a New York hotel. And they went before a magistrate to get bond, which they refused. They rejected the bond. Of course, he ended up spending the night in jail. And then today, his lawyer went to the district court to try to get a bail hearing, because of where he went to the magistrate. Going to the district court, this is the same judge that's going to be in charge during the whole proceedings. And they also denied bail. Even when he offered to give them $50 million to let him out.
Correct.
And also said, well, give me 50 million. I'll give you 50 million. You let me out. I'll go to my home in Florida. I'll barricade myself in there. I'll put a full security detail there.
I'll have no female contact.
Right. I ain't gonna have no females there, but shit, ain't nobody worry about the females because you're hitting on them boys anyway. Ain't nobody worry about the females.
Exactly.
Right. So that one there, when I heard that one, I was like,
that's exactly the response I think everybody had right there,
Come on.
Yeah,
like,
come on, stop the cap.
You just said I'm gonna stop doing half of the shit that I was doing, not all of it. Come on, man. But anyway, they still said no. Now, so if you turn down 50 million on bail, they want you.
For sure.
They want you bad. And with the federal, the reason why they made this federal and not state is because he was going across state lines with these different people. Had, as let's say, I can't say, how can I say this? I can't use the actual T word.
Right.
But you moving people from state to state.
Yeah.
Okay. You taking people, illegals,
Right.
California that was coming across the border. You putting them, you bringing them state to state, using them at your will. You was doing the same thing in Florida. You doing the same thing in New York. But there is, man. So when they, so they said that when they went through his house, that they found 1,000 bottles of baby oil lube. What the hell you do? What the hell you need with 1,000 bottles?
Well, it's not just that. You know that they found like 800 and some odd like dildos and stuff too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But
what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I ain't even want to bring that part up. I'm talking primarily about. I'm talking about the lube and the baby oil. That's what I want though. So y'all walking around in there all slick and shit. And I mean, like, what the fuck is really going on with all this damn lube and baby oil? I didn't get. I mean, I ain't get that. I mean, teach his own. I'm just saying that's some weird shit. But now they calling him the Epstein of the music industry because from when the first thing came out, when Cassie first came out and sued him the first time in the civil suit, and she got the 30 million like 24 hours. Then, after then he's gotten several suits. He got one from Lil Rod. He's got a lawsuit against him. Then you got the one girl from that one group he was in, Danica Kane. She's suing him for 100 million. So you got all these people that started coming up out the woodworks talking about the stuff that he had done, and it was a lot of artists. You had Usher, Mary J. Blige, and man, just about everybody that he dealt with, Justin Bieber, all of them. I mean, everybody that he was around, Meek Mill, everybody.
Yep.
So, and they had the video with Meek. We ain't see it, but
Steven's
you heard it.
answer. Oh my God, he must have been ashy. Steven said.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. But you heard the Meek Mill video. You didn't actually see it, but you heard it, where Diddy was going ham. So now this is federal, okay, and they said that he faces a minimum of 15 years. But if he was found guilty on everything that they got him on, that he could actually get a life sentence. Now, also I learned on here that when you have a federal charge like that if they found you guilty and you go to jail, that they could basically, the federal government could seize everything you own. Everything. So, so my question to you, to both of you, being the fact that you've heard about this story for almost a year now. You've heard about this story. You heard about all the stuff that he's done, from the videotapes and the blackmail and the bribery and all the way down the line. What's because
you lagged out right there. What'd you say?
This is way worse than R. Kelly. This is way worse than R. Kelly's situation. Way worse. Now, what do you think about this as a whole? What's your opinion?
As a whole, dude wanted to get crazy with it, and he got caught. I mean, listen, a lot of people that are, well, there aren't a lot of billionaires. Okay, it seems like a lot of the billionaire class seems to have just a couple of screws loose. That's all I've got to say. It just seems like people seem like that once they have insane money, they can get away with a little bit more, and that is true. And when you feel that your entire life, it's very hard not to get caught up, right? Because you don't even know what's limitless anymore, you know? And then you get all of a sudden you're in this crazy, like he's got a few screws, you know, loose in his head to be able to do all the shit that he's done. Definitely. I mean, you're getting caught with 1,000 bottles of baby oil. You got some issues. You got some issues, dog. Sorry. I don't know what to say about him. You know, he's definitely got caught up.
In my case, looking at the amount of money he has, I don't know why he didn't pull a Russell Simmons on him and have somebody smuggling him up out of here and go to a non-extradition country like Russell Simmons did, buy him a little palace and never come back to the United States. Because, I mean, he'd have to know he's going to go to jail. And if he has information on people, it'd be easier to kill him than to let him blackmail anyone thinking that's going to get him off and give him something to barter or trade with. I'm really surprised he stayed.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Especially when they said that he went back to New York and to cooperate. And they said that he has been cooperating. Now, they also said that he wasn't the only one that they were investigating, but he's the only one that's being charged. And they said that the reason why he's the only one being charged right now is because everyone else here are participating. Hashtag snitch. Telling. That's what they doing. They telling. It was like, nah, this shit bigger than me. This was all him. You know what I mean? They telling. And eventually he gonna tell too. Now they had the former warden to where he's at right now. They did an interview with him today, and he said that that they had him in a totally different section of the holding unit because he has already had threats on his life already from the time that he walked through the door. That a lot of them prisoners was thinking that this is like okay, I want to be the one to knock him off, you know, and that's the talk where he's at, is that they're out to get him. Which is probably the reason why he offered to give $50 million to get out. You know what I mean? Because he already know that it's about to go all the way bad for him. But I got a video here from the federal prosecutor who's basically going to tell about exactly what all happened, what all they actually charged him with, and why.
Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant.
So they're staying lit over there.
I got a question. I never heard the term commercial sex worker. I mean, you actually got a license to do that?
I don't know about any of all that.
Mm.
I think she used the wrong nomenclature there.
Okay, 'cause that's a new one on me.
Mhm.
So if you got a so if you a commercial sex worker, that means does that mean that you can charge more than $40? So you got a license? I'm
Yeah,
just asking.
I guess you got to be only in Nevada to do it, right?
Right. I mean, so you could say, hypothetically, you could say, I ain't just a hoe. I got license.
Right.
You know
I
what I
got
mean?
licenses for this
Yeah.
shit, bitch.
Right. I got license for this. So, you know what I mean? I'm gonna need a couple more dollars. Anyway, they now they was talking about the if you read on into that report, and they were talking about the drugs, the ketamine, the ecstasy, the GHB, that he was giving them to make them compliant. And one of them that he was actually giving out was also a horse tranquilizer that would basically how can you put it? You wouldn't feel no pain,
Right.
basically.
Mhm.
And he said that it was also in there that Diddy, along with his victims, had to actually take IV fluids to recover after these freak-offs. That some of these would last for days on end, and at the end of it,
Incredible.
they would have to actually send nurses in and actually put IVs in people just to, get them back on track for what all they had going on. This some crazy shit.
This is all crazy.
I ain't never heard nothing like that. I ain't never heard nothing like that. I ain't even know what a power bottom was until this Diddy shit. I ain't know what that was.
Oh, Diddy.
I'm telling
No,
you,
Diddy.
I had no idea.
Would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up?
Oh shit! I had to.
He loaded the bitch up for it. You know what I mean?
I had to. But on the for real though, like I said, a lot of people has came forward with and talked about the stuff that it went on with them in particular. Some of these people actually committed suicide. Some has had, a lot of mental problems dealing with, after experiencing stuff like that. And then, a lot of these ones that you was bringing into the industry were well underage teenagers, kids that that you messing around with, and like I said, it's been talked about for years though. 50 talked about it for a long time. Then you had the one lady, Jaguar Wright. Now she went on there and she told everything about everything that was going on because she was there, and she talked about the stuff that happened in Florida. She talked about the stuff that happened in Calabasas. She talked about everything. And the stuff that she talked about, she put names to, you know what I mean? Because he wasn't the only one that she talked about, because she talked about him. She talked about Jay-Z. She talked about Beyonce. She talked about Will Smith, Dwayne Wade. I mean, she went all the way down. She talked about every single person that she knew 100% was involved in a lot of this stuff that was going on. Oh yeah, she told everything, and like I said, like at one point she was running around with them. You know what I mean? She was involved in a lot of stuff. She went to a lot of these parties and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So when she went back and start telling it, you know, I mean, of course you got them pop on there and was like, you know, they, you know, she lying, she ain't telling the truth about it, whatever. But when you sitting there on somebody's podcast or whatever, you know, doing an interview, and you looking directly into the camera and you saying, you know, this person did A, B, C, and this person did this, and everything that you asking her, she telling you a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more about all this stuff that was going on. Now, I'm not saying that everything that she said was gold, but I bet you about 95% of it was absolute truth. Because once this stuff here started coming out, it put receipts to everything that she had been talking about for the past 6-7 months that she had been putting out there. Now, you know, so let's go back. So you got R. Kelly. Now he been in jail for a little bit, you know. Now he the one need to be talking, because he already he the one need to be talking for real. I mean, he's like, man, I done did my time. It's your turn. I'm gonna tell on his ass. I mean, if he was smart, he gonna do that. You figure, like, shit, you done been in there for a good little while. You know what I mean? Time for you to come on out, because he getting ready to go on in, because he ain't getting out. You know what I mean? The way they got this set up now, you offered to give 50 million and they tell you no, you going to jail, my boy.
Yeah, you're done. And it's an election year? Oh, yeah. You're going down just for politics alone.
Right. You going to jail. The only way you ain't going to go to jail is if Trump win and you give him 50 million to pardon you. You going to jail.
You know, and even then, I mean, dude, Trump's just going to look at that unless it's, I mean, there's no way. I just don't even see that happening. That's crazy, huh?
It's crazy.
That's when you know you're fucked for real.
I think the biggest part about this, what makes it so crazy, is that this has been going on for well over a decade, and people has known this stuff that's been going on for so long, and just now you start talking about it. Just now you start doing something about it. And then another report that I had watched was that they were talking about the reason why they got so into it now, the reason why the government got into it now, is because where so many people was filing lawsuits, they were putting they were giving them all the evidence that they needed. They didn't have to look for nothing, because y'all already told it, because you filing lawsuits, which made it easier for them to just come right on in. You know, but I just don't get the fact that people has known this for so long,
and gotten away with it for so long,
and got away with it. Now, his head security guy, his name is Fahim Muhammad. Now, he was also over security for Michael Jackson, and then he went to Diddy after Michael Jackson passed away. Now, this man here, he went and bought 198 acres of land in California, right on the southern border, right on the border. Like, literally, the fence is on his property, like right there. Why would you buy all that property right there? There's nothing there. It's in a small little spot called Boulevard, California. When I looked it up, a lot of people said that, you know, don't nobody live there other than, you know, people that they came across the border and whatnot. That it's basically a border town. You know, not a whole lot of people there, but a lot of illegals come through there, coming into California from Mexico. So you buy 198 acres there, and you put it in your son's name because you said, "Oh, I bought this for my son." And you go down there and you have these little camp outs with these teenage kids, and then they're saying allegedly that a lot of these immigrants, these illegal immigrants that they were bringing, that they were call themselves going from state to state with, that's how they were getting them. They were getting them from there and transporting them to other locations.
Damn.
So he's involved. So he's involved in this too. So this has been a long-standing deal. Like I said, for well over a decade. People has known about this. You know, officials have known about this.
Do you think he was just paying everybody off?
He had to. He had
like,
to.
I mean, you're a billionaire, right? I mean, it's like endless money.
Well, you know, with that one, I seen a documentary. Well, not really a documentary, but a report about that. And one of the people said that, you know, he's a billionaire, and that's how he was able to do. He was able to do so much. And then somebody came in and said, well, no, he's not actually a billionaire. That the companies that he was involved in were billion-dollar companies, but he himself did not have what everybody thinks he has. Just like when he was doing.
Well, isn't that usually the case? It seems like oftentimes, you know, it's kind of conflated. Like, oh yeah, you're a billionaire, right? And dude, and he's been saying he's a billionaire, but then really you get audited and you find out the dude's worth 120 million, which is a lot of money. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying. I mean, it's not surprising that oftentimes, oh yeah, sure, this guy has all this money, and then you find out really, if you liquidate everything, maybe half that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I get it.
They hold on a minute. What's up, sleepyhead?
What up?
Oh no, man. I think my sugar level's off right now a little bit.
Sitting there watching you just yeah.
Yeah.
Man. See, so that tells us that we've been on here too long. He's sitting here. He done went and took a whole nap while he's.
Old age is catching up with me.
Man, boy. Yeah, that's that old people shit right there, boy. You sitting there talking.
Oh shit! That's too good.
Oh Lord. Oh boy.
Man, that was a good one.
Like I said, we're gonna watch this one too, because this one here is gonna be something else. Because now that they got him, watch, everybody and their mama gonna come out and tell him. Everybody gonna tell about everything that's going on. Now, being the fact that he know that they ain't about to let him out, he ain't about to get no bail. What do you think he about to do?
Oh, he's snitching right now. He's snitching right now. Right now, he's talking.
Right.
Doing a lot of this right now. Guaranteed.
Right. Right.
He's doing everything he can right now. You get denied $50 million cash bail right there. Yeah. You might be shitting your pants a little bit.
Yep. He's gonna be in there squealing like a sissy in a boy camp. He
yeah.
Gonna be right into it. He about to tell everything.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and that's what's gonna get him right there. You know what I mean? Now, what happened? You remember what happened to Epstein, right?
Oh, yeah.
Locked up.
This is gonna. It could very well. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Why? Now, you know, when you're in a situation like that and you in jail, you can't trust nobody.
No.
Nobody. You can't trust the inmates. You can't trust the guards. You can't trust nobody. You know what I mean? It is super easy for something to go down there.
Oh yeah.
And somebody turn a blind eye. So they said that they put him in an area and they put, you know, cameras all around him and wherever so that they can watch him to keep him. I mean, to try to keep him safe or whatever. But you know, jail is jail. And a lot of things happen in jail that people just, you know,
it's ruthless.
You turn a blind eye to. Now,
oh yeah, you could be full PC'd up and everything, dude. It doesn't matter that if if you want to get gotten, you'll be gotten.
Right. So if Epstein was able to do what they said he did, then what's stopping this one? You know what I mean? Especially when you know too much. When you know too much that you can involve a lot of people, a lot of important people, you know, business, political, whatever. And you in a situation where, okay, they ain't about to let me out of jail. So the only way I'm gonna get out of here that I'm gonna have to say something. You know what I mean? My money ain't helping me. You know what I mean? 50 million did not help me. So something gonna give. But we're gonna keep on that one.
We'll keep up on it for sure.
And just watch, because I see this one. I already see this one coming.
Yeah, you see it.
Yeah. So but we're gonna go ahead and end this one for tonight. Like I said, this was a long one. A little longer than normal, but
we had a lot to fit in, though.
We had a couple, right. We had a couple different topics that we're talking about.
And we still left some off.
And I still left one off. I still left one off because we were running along. But we'll hit that one. I'll probably hit that one at another time, because I'm pretty sure even with that one, it's some more to that too. And I'm gonna keep my eye on that one as well. But like I said, I thank everybody for coming out. Like always, like, follow, share, subscribe, hit that like button, so we can get this show out, get it out in the right algorithm, so that way people can watch it. Share the program. You know what I mean? Send a link to someone, let them watch it, and bring them in. Next week, like I said to you and Aaron before, this month is Suicide Awareness Month. And I have two people that's going to be on next week's show. Both of them have a really deep story to tell, dealing with that. One lost her daughter, and one lost her son. And then the one who lost her son also started a foundation to help people that were dealing with thoughts of suicide, needed help, stuff like that. She has a program that's set up to work with people, and I got them both on the show for next week. I think it's going to be a good show.
That's dope that they're willing to talk about it too.
Yeah. It's going to be sensitive,
of course,
because of what they're talking about, but they wanted to tell the story. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna let them tell it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what we have going for next week. Like I said, everyone, I appreciate you all coming. Like always, love you to death, because without you, we wouldn't be here every week pumping these stories out. So thank you all once again. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Mike, for being here. And I'll see you in 7 days. Go ahead, Aaron.
Okay, I just want to give a thumbs up to everybody out there that's not going for the okey doke and the divisiveness of this campaign that's going on right now. I mean, I don't care if you got on a Trump shirt or a Biden shirt. I'll still walk up and give you a hug, because you're still people, one way or the other. And I just want to warn people, keep your heads on a swivel. We saw what happened in Israel with these cell phones. The Homeland Security feels that very thing could happen here. And I keep hearing content creators and other people calling for an October surprise. So don't end up getting surprised by it. Expect it and be ready to handle whatever they're going to throw our way. And I'll stop there.
No, that was well said, Aaron. And good way to put it too. You know, absolutely. Guys, thank you everybody that's been tuning in and hanging out with us. Make sure you're following us and are involved on the Facebook group that we have, the Diamond Effect. Make sure you guys go over there, join over there. We all hang out and have a good ass time over there. Also, if you guys would like to keep up with Archbishop, it is scrolling down below. It's got his Instagram, his Facebook, his TikTok, Cash App as well, $Bishop 8752, man, where you can help him out over there for putting all this shit together, man. Also, do me a favor, man. Also, follow me at my Instagram at BallValveTV. It's where I post everything behind the scenes, man. It's always a good time over there. So with that being said, everybody, thank you guys for being here, subscribing to all the channels, man, and having a good ass time. You know, we're always going to be coming out with the best topics that we absolutely can. And it's something that we pride ourselves on. You know, these shows are, you know, something that we love to do, but we get equal amount from us doing this and being able to raise awareness and be able to help out in those regards. But the real return is you guys, you know what I mean? And so it's always an honor. And again, thank you guys on the panel. Thank you guys, Archbishop and Aaron, for as well as having me on as well. It's always a good ass time. So until then, we will see you guys in 7 days, man, where we will have a gnarly topic, man. So tune in. We're gonna get serious for a minute. Absolutely. Much love, honor, and respect, everybody. We'll see you guys then. Peace.
Oh.